Hi everyone, welcome back to the DBMS session. So, in the last class, we have learned about the file versus DBMS. So, what are all the merits and demerits of saving the file in a, for example, we can consider MS Word. So, in a Word, what we will be doing, we will store the data in the format of file. File 1, file 2, etc. goes on. Likewise, we will be storing everything in the format of file. So this is the concept we learned in the previous session. So today what we are going to learn, what is the main purpose of this DBMS? Why we are using this DBMS? Why we need to use this DBMS? There are seven crispy point can be listed out to identify the purpose of this DBMS. Number one, data redundancy and inconsistency. So this is the first point. Data redundancy. So data redundancy means, what is the meaning? We can avoid the duplicate data. The first point, what they are trying to say is, we can avoid the duplicate data. When we store the data in DBMS, we can avoid the duplicate and inconsistency. Inconsistency means the level which we are maintaining the data are not matched with the original data. Whereas if we store the data in DBMS, we can update the thing in the original data, and therefore the updation, whatever the alterations or any modifications what we are doing, that will be updated in the original data. There will be a consistency will be maintained. Likewise, they are saying, see, for example, you consider in file 1, we are storing a student name, student address. We are storing in this file. So now what happens after 6 months or 2 months, this particular student changed their address. So what we are doing when we are handling in the file, again we are doing the updation in the address. So the new address is stored here. See, for example, in a college, if the admission block store old address, and in the department, if the new address is updated by the student, then what happens? There will be a two kind of data. So the address of a particular student is not same in the admission block or in the department. There is an inconsistency. So the new address should be updated in the admission block also. Suppose if it is maintained in a Word file or manually, and there is an inconsistency. And also same data, for example, in the admission block, we are storing the first year BTech student details, and the same details stored in the department also. First year, the whole student. For example, this is IT department. IT department details are stored here. Whereas here, all the branches of details are stored in the admission block, and this will be distributed to all the department. So if it is happen in such a way, and there occurs a inconsistency. So when the inconsistency occur, when there is a data redundancy, data inconsistency occurs there. This is the first point they are trying to say. The second point is difficulty in accessing the data. So we feel very difficult in accessing the data in file. Suppose we are storing it in new address, old address in one file, new address in another file. Suppose the particular student, when he is transferred to final year, and in the final year again he is changing the address, and that is stored in file 3. So this is new updated file. So same file stored in 3 patterns. So here what happens, it is very, very difficult to access the data. Where I can access the data, either the original data is stored in file 1, file 2 or file 3. The data is stored only in file 1. So if we have only the proper recognition, then we will be able to access the particular file. Whereas if we store all these data in a DBMS, so whatever the data stored here, the same original file and the modifications will be done in the same data. Therefore, there is no difficulty in accessing the data, and there is no duplication, and there is no inconsistency. Such kind of thing can be done with the help of this DBMS. And the third one is data isolation. Data isolation. Data isolation means data separation. Data separation. What does mean by separation? So in file pattern, it will be scattered in various file format. In file, I'm saying file 1 is stored in C colon somewhere. File 2 is stored in D colon somewhere. But both are same student file. Both are same student file. This is old address file and this is new address students file. Is it easy to access the data, or is it easy to separate or easy to isolate these two data? It is very, very difficult in file. Why? Because these files are available in different locations and we need a individual application to retrieve the data from the file. But whereas in DBMS we can store the data in a we can store this data in a package likewise in the DBMS, and therefore this data can be managed to this can be managed to avoid the redundancy, inconsistency, and the easy to access the data, and the data separation is also easy. Suppose you want to find out the people those who score greater than 90, so we can easily separate the data. The student, those who secured mark greater than 90. Whereas in file, what we will do, again we will create another file 3 and here we will create those who are occurred greater than 90. So many files will be handled in the file handling manner. In DBMS, we will be handling everything inside this DBMS within this package, and therefore there is no problem in the data isolation. This is the third one. Number fourth one, integrity problems. What is mean by integrity? So integrity means is nothing but whatever the value stored in the particular data, that must satisfy one particular types of consistent constraint, any condition. Integrity means is nothing but some condition, any condition, whatever the condition they are giving. So for example, in a bank, what they are saying, you have to maintain minimum balance. Minimum balance you have to maintain 1,000 rupees in Axis Bank. So if it exceeds, now what they'll be doing, they'll be doing some penalty. You have to pay some penalty. If there is any reductions in the minimum balance, then penalty will be given to this particular account. This is a condition. This is an integrity. So we need to check it out whether the particular amount is available in the proper account or not now and then. So that conditions will be checked within an efficient way in DBMS. Whereas in file, it is very, very tedious to maintain all these integrity. And the fifth one is atomicity problem. Fifth one is atomicity problem. So atomicity means is nothing but you can take a best example of paying any in a petrol bunk or in a shop, whenever the transaction happened between the two person A and B. So whenever the transaction happens between the two people, and there must be a C, consistent or complete satisfaction. There is a A and there is a B. A is a customer or user. So he is a shopkeeper. So what this user is doing, he bought rupees 650 for biryani. Okay. Now he need to transfer this 650 to this shopkeeper using a GPay. Just imagine. Okay, for example, I'm telling you. So while he is doing this GPay, suppose the amount is deducted from the user, but the amount is not credited to the shopkeeper. Then what happens? The transaction fails. Suppose while transferring itself, for example, the 650 is available here. When the home page is open or some link is open, the home page is not opened. The link page is not opened. The page which they want to have a transaction link, that is not open. So the transaction is not able to happen. So here such kind of suppose he transferred the amount. He transferred the amount and this is not credited here. So both the balance are 0 and 0. 0 and 0. So the amount should be credited to his account, user account, or either it should be credited to the shopkeeper account. So either this should happen or this should happen. So both the transactions are failed and the atomicity, what is the atomicity available in this current scenario? There is a problem in the atomicity when there was not a successful transaction. But whereas we are maintaining the data in a DBMS, we can maintain the atomicity. Suppose if the amount is not returned to the particular user, then automatically, for example, A and B, he is having 650, he has to credit it to this person. He credited this one, but is not returned to the shop. But what DBMS, what it will do, na? DBMS again, some after few hours, this amount will be credited to A account. Then later, then he can make a confirmation such that this particular amount can be transferred to the B account. So this is an atomicity success. So atomicity never fails in the DBMS. That is the thing. That is the main purpose we are using this DBMS. And number 6, what they are saying, na, concurrent access anomalies. Concurrent access anomalies means this is also when both the people are doing the transaction at the same time, then whatever the transactions they are doing, what it should do, it should show the proper transaction. A and B, they are having a joined account. They are having joined account of 1000 rupees. Suppose A is taking some amount of 500 without the knowledge of B. Then what is the balance amount? Balance amount is 500. Suppose if it shows again 1000 here, na, this is not the proper concurrent transaction. Here also it should show 500. Why? Because A and B, they are having a joint account, and whatever the amount is credited or debited, that should be reflected in both the account. So if it is not done in the proper way to both the account, then there occurs a concurrent access anomalous. Whereas if we do this one in DBMS, if it credited 500 debited by the A account, then the same amount 500 will also be done in the B account. Suppose B is taking 200, what is the remaining amount? 300. 300 will be reflected in the A account also. So here DBMS never fails to show the concurrent access anomalies. This is the main purpose of using the DBMS. The last one is security problem. So security, for sure, DBMS is providing a security during the transaction. That's why if the amount is not credited or transferred to the particular amount, again it is transferred to the particular same account. Minus 650, this should be transferred to the account B, but it is due to some transaction failure, the amount is not transferred to this B account. Then what happens? The same amount will be credited to the A account within few hours. Okay, so there is a security and there is a atomicity, there is a concurrent in DBMS with the security. So with the security. So security is the major advantages provided by the DBMS which help us to resolve all kind of problem. This is the main purpose of using the DBMS. Thank you.